Something is watching me from the woods.
It was late autumn, and the woods behind Hannah's house were cloaked in a thin veil of mist. The air was crisp, and the leaves crunched under her boots as she wandered deeper into the forest. She loved exploring this time of year. The woods were quiet, serene, but today the quiet felt different, heavier somehow. Hannah paused near a crooked tree with a hollowed-out trunk. She swore she heard a branch snap behind her. Turning, she scanned the woods but saw nothing except towering trees and shifting shadows. Shrugging it off, she told herself it was probably a deer or a raccoon. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Realizing how far she'd wandered, Hannah decided to head back. She retraced her steps, but the forest seemed wrong. Trees she didn't recognize loomed over her, and the path she'd taken had vanished. Her breath quickened. A rustling noise to her right made her freeze. Slowly, she turned her head, her heart pounding in her chest. Among the trees, something moved. At first, she thought it was an animal, but then she saw it. A figure. Tall, motionless, cloaked in shadow. It wasn't close, but it wasn't far enough for her comfort. "Hello," she called out, her voice trembling. No response. The figure didn't move. It just watched. Hannah's legs screamed at her to run, but her curiosity held her still. She took a step back, then another. The figure mirrored her movement, stepping forward. That was enough. She turned and ran, her breath ragged, her pulse thundering in her ears. The forest seemed alive, branches clawing at her hair and coat. She didn't dare look back, but she could hear footsteps behind her, faster, heavier. When she burst out of the woods and into her backyard, the last light of the day was fading. She slammed her back door shut, locking it, her hands shaking. She looked out the window, scanning the edge of the trees. Nothing. Hannah exhaled, trying to calm herself. Maybe it was just her imagination. Maybe she'd freaked herself out for no reason. She stepped away from the window, deciding to call it a night, but then she heard a tap on the glass. Slowly, she turned back to the window. There, standing just beyond the glass, was the figure. Close enough now that she could see its face, or the lack of one. Its head was smooth, featureless, pale as the moonlight. It raised a hand and pointed at her, and then the lights went out.